instituted several years ago as we look to the future of faith in our state was to initiate a Future of Faith Award. And this award is given to an individual organization that has demonstrated hope for the future of the faith community. Previous recipients have been the Interfaith Exchange at Brown University and Reverend Ebony Grissom. This year's awardee is Rabbi Barry Dollinger. Rabbi Dollinger, would you come forward, please? So, you know it's an important award when your mom and dad travel all the way from New York. Mrs. Dollinger, would you stand? I want to recognize you. I know you probably been told this before, but you've done good. Some of us who are getting a little long in the tooth and know that our ability to provide leadership and be engaged in the faith community, the days are numbered. And you start to look around and you say, who will pick up the mantle? Who will stand for justice? Who has the passion? Who has the courage to say, my faith has taught me this, and no matter what the culture may say, I will stand and stand for truth and for justice. Rabbi Dollinger has done that in amazing ways and at a real cost. It's wonderful to stand up here and receive an award, but sometimes the price one has to pay to stand up for the truth is neither helpful and it can sometimes even be ugly. But Rabbi Dollinger knows what it means to stand for his convictions and to be a person of passion, and he has passion. I love to sit down and just talk with him. In fact, I can tell you, he even got me to a vegetarian restaurant, which I have been back to a number of times, by the way. But to sit down at lunch with him and talk about the scriptures and talk about faith, and to see the passion that is in his heart for what God is calling people to do is inspiring. And to see the courage that he has exhibited is also inspiring. And when I think about the fact that when some of us are going to be long gone, people like Rabbi Dollinger will still be here, I am filled with hope and with confidence. And so, Rabbi, it is my great honor and joy to award you this year's Heroes of Faith, Future of Faith Award, Rabbi Barry Dollinger.
Incredibly humbled. I'd like to thank everyone who came, my parents. My father's also my tax preparer. My in-laws, members of the congregation, the community, and really everyone who's here. When I think about the future of faith, I think about two figures, about Abraham and Moses, figures that many of us share in common. We just read in the Torah reading, in the reading from the Bible this week in our synagogue, about how God told Abraham that he had to leave. He had to go on a journey. He says, leave your birthplace, etc., to a land that I will show you. As I mentioned this past week, it doesn't say where. We know where he's going. He has no idea where he's going. It's not about the destination. Often we focus on destination goals. Where is this leading? Where we plan. We forecast, we meet, we discuss. But it's less about where we wind up and how we get there. The important point is that he walked each step with God. Think about Moses. In the rabbinic tradition, he follows one lost sheep up a mountain. And in following just this one solitary lost sheep for a while, He encounters the burning bush. What does he say when he gets there? I will turn aside and look at this wondrous thing. There are a couple of elements there. A little rabbinic. Lost in the grammar. I will turn aside. Faith requires volition and turning. Requires acts of will, conscious, practiced. Moses was practiced at doing this, at looking at things differently. He was comfortable. He had escaped the difficult conditions of his life, but he couldn't not look. I have to turn, I have to look. And to be aware, when we decide to turn, to be aware of what it is we see. With compassion, that's the point there. He looks with compassion at the lost sheep and he chases it. So he looks at compassion with the Israelites and sees their suffering. This great vision that he sees, a bush that is burned but is not consumed. We all burn with yearning, with needs for meaning, safety, protection, dignity. And it threatens to consume us. But what Moses understood when looking with compassion is that these things don't consume. They don't have to be our end. That we can change the inevitable. That what seems like a structure of power, which fights against this compassionate looking. And Pharaoh didn't know that God. That's what it says. I don't know your God. This God of compassion who cares about slaves. I'm the God. Power. Pyramids. Moses says, I don't care, we're leaving, and we're going to worship. And it's tied into the future, right? Moses says, we're going with everyone, with the kids, the women, the goats. I'm not comparing, no comparisons to categories. We're taking everything, and we're leaving. And Pharaoh says, after the negotiation, fine, you can go, just the men, just these things. Moses says something profound. We won't know, we won't know how to worship God until we get there. We need everything because we don't know. And so, I guess I just want to say that we don't know what the future will bring. We don't know the destination. We don't know where we will go. And we have to be open to that possibility. That faith, it for sure will. It's a guarantee, a promise, a certainty. Faith will look very different tomorrow and the next day, and for sure in 20 years and 30 years. But what we do know is that it's not about the destination, it's about how we go there. It's about going with compassion, about turning aside and cultivating and reminding ourselves and checking ourselves to keep looking anew with fresh eyes with compassion for those who have needs. And to stand up to the many structures of power and people of power and institutions of power that don't know that God. With kindness. To free with kindness, to kill with kindness, and to bring everyone and everything with us. Reverend Foster mentioned the tradition that 2 or 3, the divine presence was. We have that tradition too. Even 2 or 3, it says in our rabbinic teaching. If 2 or 3 people share words of teaching at a meal, the divine presence is there, says the mission of the rabbinic oral law. And I know that it's really, you're the heroes. When I look out, everyone's the hero here. This is a room of heroes, people that dedicate their lives to turning aside, to looking, to acting, to not turn. It's very easy to be comfortable with Jethro and his daughters and all that. But this is a room of people who purposely leave comfort every day to live with faith. The divine presence is here in the work that everyone does. It's magnified, it's amplified. It's really just so humbling and an honor to be with you. Thank you so much.